are you, Nancy? Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's been a couple of years. We last spoke about Tiny Pretty Things.
Yeah, tiny pretty things, and then we got some new projects to talk about.
You have a lot. Start with Acapulco.
Sure.
That's been a major hit, not to mention Mexico. Everyone's talking about it. So tell me, how did you get to be the Cisne del Chisme?
Yeah. I started off as a fan of the show. I ended up watching the first season, and falling in love with the characters and everything that has to do with Acapulco. And then I ended up getting an audition for it. And it was a little scary because initially, like the way that they described Fabian Solares, it was something like a character that I initially was hesitant to try to create because it's something completely different than what I've played normally on TV. And then once I let go and started having fun, I ended up auditioning for it and then meeting the creative team and then taking part. And then now, with being respectful with what the tone and everything that was already set with Acapulco, everyone kind of like welcomed me with open arms, and I kind of, went in for season two and then created Fabian Solares.
But what was it that attracted you to Acapulco initially as a fan?
Um, it makes you feel good about yourself, especially as a comedy. I always say that it's kind of like the, Hispanic or Latinx, Ted Lasso, because it makes you feel good when you watch it. The colors and the way that it's written and the stories, and once you really invest in every character is wonderful, and it's like authentic Mexican life. There's no yellow filter that Hollywood does. Like it's actually real people growing up, and especially the story of Maximo, and it's just so well written, and every episode makes you feel good about yourself and you just really enjoy it. And that's one of the things that really struck me as a fan. And then now, I'm trying to also give as an actor.
Let's talk about the transformation. You had fun. I got to see some of your stories on Instagram. I was so excited and waiting to see it on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the way that we started it was we tried different hairstyles, and then we ended up putting a wonderful wig on me. So I feel like George Michael and Wham in in the mid 1980s. And then as far as like inspiration, people that I looked at for Fabian Solares was like Perez Hilton, kind of like those cheesemate gossipy stuff. But then I also love Walter Mercado, and I love his movements, and I love all the way that he moves and how fluid he is when he does his astrological talk. So with Fabian, I wanted to take a little bit of from Walter Mercado and a little bit of Perez Hilton, and then kind of put it all together to create this character.
What was it like for you to be on the other end? I mean, you're an actor. I'm sure people are, taking pictures of you here and there, and you get to play a character that's the opposite, looking to
Yeah,
take the pictures.
yeah, it's the mindset of Fabian, you really have to get into why he does what he does. So there's a persona that he has on camera, which is very much like presentational and flamboyant and like talking about everything that's going on in Las Colinas. And then there's also the side behind him, which is off screen, which is trying to do what he can to get all the information and make little deals with whoever he can to like move forward in life. So for me, it was just a matter of like diving into both sides of that, the persona that he creates and then the person who he is in real life. And as an actor, it was so much fun because this is so much different than what I've done. It was a matter of just letting go and being very playful, and any ideas that come to life. It was just so fun to try them out, whether they worked or they didn't.
So I imagine that while preparing, you were probably listening to a lot of the 1980s music.
Mhm.
What's
Oh yeah.
what's your favorite song now from the 80s?
Oh wow. I don't have a particular favorite song, but I will say that George Michael was a lot. I love all of the like new wave, so like New Order, The Cure, um, The Smiths, Morrissey, Pet Shop Boys. Like I love everything about that. But George Michael too, Wham, even like rock en español, like Soda Stereo, Hombres G. Like my playlist was bilingual, so it was like
Enanitos
everything all together.
Verdes.
And Anitos Verdes, oh yeah, I listened to everything. So it just depended on the mood, but I was going back and forth.
Yeah. Okay, well, great. So now we're gonna shift a little. Can we talk a little bit about Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Now
Yeah.
that's different too. I mean, you had done voiceover, you were familiar with that, but tell me about the full-on experience because this is a little different. We got to see you in a bodysuit.
Yeah, Call of Duty was such an amazing project to take part in. We worked on it for about a year and a half, and I play a Mexican soldier that's introduced in the game called Rodolfo Para. This is a sequel to 2019's Modern Warfare, and so we're the direct sequel through that through Infinity Ward, which is our studio. What was really cool about this whole experience is the fact that like I was a gamer, I am a gamer and I've played the game and I knew kind of like what the storyline was going into it. And then when I found out that they're going to introduce two Mexican soldiers, I was kind of iffy because I was like, okay, so what are they going to do with that? But what was really great about this is I portray a soldier who is not corrupt, who is loyal, who the existing Call of Duty characters start working with these two Mexican soldiers to eradicate corruption, fight against the cartel, and fight against terrorism. And the opportunity to play someone authentic and play someone that just loves his country and will always fight for it no matter what was such a great experience. And I think they did a great job at Infinity Ward at like letting us um, give input when we could to make it as authentic as possible. And so now, having played the game, having played myself, I guess, with it, it's been such a cool experience. And then there's also a lot of like feedback that I've been getting from fans and players alike that really enjoyed the performance.
Okay, so you're used to playing the game. So what surprised you in being part of the game that you didn't
Um,
anticipate?
the just the love that you get from so many players around the world and how they really enjoyed, my character would either guide you through the mission or you would play a mission as me, and it was just really cool to see all the feedback that you're getting from the fans and just also people proud to see representation in a video game, which was really cool. As far as an actor goes, it was just a whole different medium to learn, but I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely do it again for sure.
So how is this different though, also having to wear a bodysuit for the movements of the character?
Yeah, so with you essentially create like your own theater troupe. So we're our sound stage is pretty much bare. And if, say, for example, you're getting into a Jeep or you're getting into a helicopter or you're in the airfield, like there's kind of little objects here and there to work with. But for the most part, you and your fellow actors are just kind of super bare and creating everything. And it was interesting because you have a camera in front of you, and so all your movements, especially when you're having conversations with other, you want to make sure that you don't hit cameras. But in addition to that, it's being in full control of your body and your voice, and then also knowing how to move fluidly within what we're capturing on screen. Whereas on TV and film, the stiller you are, the more intense, and you don't have to move around as much. But with motion capture, there's a little bit more movement involved, especially as gamers are playing to keep their attention, on screen. And then everybody also has their cool video game voice where they speak low. So that was always a trip. That was always a cool thing to experience.
Well, that's fascinating. Now I'm curious to what's next. Are you working on something? I know but I think you were in Florida, right? And now you're
Yeah,
in LA.
yeah, I'm in Los Angeles now. I have, hopefully, people keep watching Acapulco, and there's a third season because you never know.
There
Fabian
has
might
to
be
be. There has to
might
be.
Yeah, Fabian might be involved in the third season. You don't know. There's also another Apple project that I worked on called High Desert that should be coming out by the end of the year, I think early next year, and then seeing what else kind of comes my way. So,
That's awesome. And congratulations. That's how one of your posts. You're like the Indian motorcycle ambassador.
oh yeah, yeah. I've been riding motorcycles since I was 17, and I've been representing the Indian brand, which I love and love riding Indian motorcycles. So it's been so much fun.
Nice. I've been curious because, with fuel prices, like maybe I should ride a bike.
There's nothing like riding on two wheels. Trust me. I mean, it's getting a little cold now, but it's very therapeutic for me, and I love it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Bayardo, for your time. I had been wanting to talk to you about Acapulco and your thoughts and your character. That was pretty exciting to see you there.
Yeah, it's a bit, I'm such a fan of the show, and I really want whoever, I want everyone to watch it because it just makes you feel good, and it's so good and so lighthearted and fun.
And I like the outcome of your character
Yeah. It's all
in the
tied in,
series.
which is great.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all
for
tied in,
sure.
which is super fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again for your time. Congratulations. And hopefully for another project, we get to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And I love how we have matching backdrops. We have corners.
Yeah, yeah. Corner rooms have a little light. It looks great.
I know. Great. Well, thank you so much again.